Okay. Thank you so much for joining, guys. Please confirm you can hear me. Okay, good morning, everyone. Thanks to those who joined early. If you have anyone who would be interested in joining this session, please don't hesitate to send them the link so that they can join us. And if you can't hear me, please let me know. If you can hear me clearly and you can see me, please let me know in the comments. Hello, everyone, once again. Thank you so much for joining the session. If you have anyone who would be interested in this session, please don't hesitate to reach out to them, send the links to them. You can invite them if you have a group. Okay, thank you so much, Kelvin, for that confirmation. If you have anyone who would be interested in this session, please send the link to them, let them join. Thank you, Precious, for that confirmation. Yes, so we have more people joining us now. Let's invite more people to join us because today's session will be very practical, unlike the one we had last weekend. So please, if you know anyone who would be interested, let's send the links to them. And we are only going to use 1 hour 30 minutes into this session, so we are going to be starting very, very early. So thank you once again for joining. Thank you so much for joining. Like I said, if you have anyone who would be interested, do not hesitate to invite them. Okay, so since everyone can confirm that they can hear me now, I would like to know where you're joining from. Yes, I would like to know where you're joining from. Is it Nigeria? Is it Ghana? Is it UK? Is it US? Is it Kenya? So let me know where you're joining from and you can hear me clearly. Also, you can type portfolio for those that are joining newly. Please let me know where you're joining from as well. I'm yet to see a response. I would like to know where you're joining from. Okay, more people are joining. Thank you so much for joining, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Let's invite more people to join us. Drop your country in the chat. I want to see it. I love seeing people from different communities, and I love that the community is stretching beyond borders. So I would like to see it. Okay, Precious, you're joining from Lagos in Nigeria. Thank you so much for joining. We need more people to join us. Okay, more people are joining us already. Okay, thank you, Winnie from Kenya. Thank you so much. Kelvin from Benin, Edo State. Thank you so much for joining us. Okay. Okay, so now I don't want us to take a lot of time. Welcome to part 2 of our portfolio series. Last week we talked about the structure, and if you were there, I would like to know in the comments what was one thing that you learned. For those who were around last week, I would like to hear what you took home. The one thing that you learned so far or you learned during the class that you've held on to till today. I would like to know that in the comments. And while you are trying to write that, I would like to go first. One thing that stood out for me was Blessing mentioned that it is not just all about tools, but it's about your thinking, right? You don't just push tools show how you think through your thinking. Many people know how to use SQL. Many people know how to use Power BI. Many people know how to use Python, but they don't know how to tell us their thinking. They don't know how to show their thinking. They don't know how to tell us this problem that is solved and all those things. So it's not just I used Python. It's not just I used Power BI. What problem did you really solve? And how did you approach that problem? What insight did you even uncover, right? What insight did you find out from the project that you did? So now, this morning, today, we are moving to visibility from thinking, from the structuring, from the project that you've done. How can we visualize it? Because what's the point of structuring your portfolio if it is sitting in a folder on your laptop? Some of you have Google Docs titled Final Portfolio Draft versus version 3, final underscore final. Yeah, a lot of people have that, right? They have final underscore final underscore final. So today we want to fix that. So today is just all about building. We are going to be building your portfolio. We are going to be hosting it. We are going to be publishing it independently on your website, and how you would also talk about it confidently. So here is what we are going to do today. We're going to walk through how to build and structure your portfolio online. We're going to talk about your platform's options. We're also going to be looking at what clean and professional layout should look like. And then lastly, we're going to be taking your question. So I encourage you to stay to the end of the program, to the end of the session, because this is an implementation session. Like I said last time, was just about how do you think through the project, how do you structure it, but implementation matters. How do you now showcase it for the world to see? And so I'm really, really excited about our guest today. We have Ivie Osoye on the call right now, and she's a tech educator, and she's the founder of Sticks and Codes Academy, where she teaches practical technology programs that is focused on digital literacy and software fundamentals for children and teenagers. Yeah, for children, for teenagers, for yeah. So these are the people that she focuses on. She teaches them how to be digitally literate, software fundamentals, and she also works at an intersection of education, technology, and curriculum design. She helps young leaders to build skills that they can actually use. And I love that phrase, skills that they can actually use. And so, because that's what we are doing today, so we are not just going to be talking about theory, we are talking about building something that is usable. Please confirm you can hear me clearly. Thank you so much. I can see in the comments if you, yes, yes. So it is going to be practical. She has a very practical, execution focused mindset, and that's exactly what we need for this session today. So we are not just talking, we're going to be practicing, we're going to be implementing what was taught us last week. So now, thank you so much, Ivie, for joining us today. Thank you for honoring this invitation. The floor is yours. So I'll be inviting her to join us right now while she takes the stage. Thank you so much, Ivy, for joining us. You're currently
Thank
on.
you so much. All right. Thank you, Esther. Hello, everyone. Please confirm that you can hear me. Can everybody hear me?
Yes,
Can
we
hear
can hear you
me?
clearly.
Okay, okay,
Yes, we can
okay,
hear you.
great.
So
Great. I'm
please let's
so
all welcome her. Thank you so much, Ivy. Please let's welcome her. I can see Eva welcoming her already. Susan, welcome. Please let's all welcome her. Give her some clap emoji in the chats, please. Thank you so
thank
much.
you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me again, Esther. Thank you to everyone for being here. It's such an honor to be here today, and I know that we are in for a good time. We are. I'm hoping that everybody here was around for part one last week. If you're around for part one last week, maybe let me see like a thumbs up or wave. Let me see if you're around for part one. I wasn't around for part one, but then I went back to watch the session and my mind was mind blown. Like my mind was blown. There was so much to learn from it. And today's session is going to be a spin-off from the last session. So if you were around in the last session, let me see your hand. Let me see your hand. This is going to be a bit interactive. Okay, so I would really want us to be on our keypads, dropping comments, because I'm going to be asking questions here and there, and I would also want for you guys to ask questions. All right. So, of course, the topic for today is how to build and host your data portfolio on the web, right? And we are going to, I'm not seeing comments, so I'm expecting that. Does that mean that nobody was there in the last session? Please, if you were not there, you guys would have to go back to watch it. That session was loaded. That session was loaded. Blessing broke everything down that as regards what a portfolio should look like as a data person. So be it data engineer, data analyst, data specialist, data consultant. She broke it down as to what a portfolio should contain, right? And the reason why I am referring back to that, I'm also going to say some things refer a lot to that session. And that's because you cannot build what you do not have an idea of. Okay, so if you do not understand what a portfolio is, then you have to go back to the basics, because that's like the first principle. Okay, so you need to, yes, you can. So someone is asking, can I attend this session without attending the last session? Yes, you can. Okay, so this session is supposed to be more like a technical walkthrough of how to build a portfolio. Okay, good, thank God. I'm seeing Tolu of where Debbie said she was there. All right, so that I know that we have our people here. All right, okay, good. So look, where Debbie was there. Samuel, I don't know if it's Egbe or Egbe, but I'm good. Samuel was there. All right, good. So as I was saying, this is going to be more like a technical walkthrough. All right, but you need to understand the fundamentals of what a portfolio is. Right. So last week we were taught about the structure. Okay, the structure of a strong data portfolio. What makes a data portfolio? What should be there and what shouldn't be there? All right. So before I proceed, I want to ask, what is a portfolio? So for those of us that were in the last session, and maybe you were not in the last session, but then you have an idea of what a portfolio is, let me even hear from you guys. What do you think a portfolio is? So I'm going to be looking out for the comments. So quickly, yes, Sura, I think I answered, I don't know if that's the pronunciation of your name. I think I answered your question. You can very well stay to the end, and you can stay to the end, and there's a lot to learn here, but just make sure that you go back to the last session. I'm sure that Esther will drop the link for the last session. So I'm waiting for your comments on what a portfolio is while I share my screen. Okay, 1 second, please. Okay, good. All right, so I'm seeing some comments. So Eva says your work, what you have done in your career field, that's interesting. Ariba says showing data projects or work publicly is portfolio. That's also interesting. Sura says a project showcasing our skills and understanding. Everybody has said, do we have any other comments coming in? Everything that everybody has said it shows that you understand what a portfolio is. Basically, a portfolio is your work. Is it Fun Hope? So I'm so sorry if I'm murdering your name, but there's a comment here that says it's where I showcase my insights on data sets. Okay. Nana says it's like your CV, which showcases your skills and deliverables. This is brilliant. Okay. We are all showing that we have an understanding of what a portfolio means. Someone says a simulated real life project tailored to how your role looks like. It shows your project / your work done to showcase our skills. Yes, very brilliant. Okay, so all of this encompasses what a portfolio is, right? So one thing I would say is that your portfolio, you're all right. Your portfolio is basically you showing your work, all right, showing your workings. If you're from Nigeria, if you're in Nigeria, you know that we say show your workings a lot, right? Show your workings. Okay, so your portfolio shows what it is you're capable of doing. Okay, so there are, okay, let me share my, can you all see my screen? Please confirm that you can see my screen. Can I get like a thumbs up or something so that I can know that we're all on the same page? Oh, Nana says she cannot see my screen. Not yet. She says she can only see my face. Esther, please confirm. I know I'm sharing my screen right now, so I don't know if it's visible, if there's something that you can do to make it more visible. I don't know, but I know that I'm sharing my screen. Esther, are you there? No screen. Okay, so they can only see my face. It's not visible. Esther, please confirm if you're on the call. I am sharing my screen. From my end, I can see it. Okay, let me see. Okay, so it's showing that my screen is actually showing on my end, but okay. I think these are Esther that says, is Esther Anna Est in tech? Esther says I should go ahead. All right, okay then. So I think Esther says go ahead, and yes, ma'am, I'm going ahead. All right. Okay, Nana is a he. Good. All right, so coming back to my slide, right? How to build and host your data portfolio on the web. Okay, I've asked us questions about what a portfolio is, and we've all given brilliant answers, right? A portfolio is basically how you showcase your work, all right? So a true data portfolio, like I have here, is an ecosystem of your professional proof. You say you are a data analyst, you say you're a data engineer, you say you work in data, all right? We need to see that you
Hello,
actually
Ivy.
do data. Yes, please.
Hello. Yeah, your
Yes, I
screen
can
is
hear
up
you.
now. Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you. So you say that you work in data, but we need to see that you actually work in data. And for different fields, the presentation of a portfolio differs. I mean, a portfolio is not only for people who work in tech or people who work in data. Of course, as you know, I do not work in data, by the way. All right. I am a tech educator. I work more in software, and then I also work in IT generally. So I'm a support engineer, work in security, cybersecurity as well. So you can see that I do not have a data background, but then I have the authority to teach you about the portfolio, because beyond my role in the tech industry, I am also a business owner. And I know what I look out for when I'm seeing a portfolio, when I'm looking at a portfolio. All right. So we're going to look at things that how you should think and how you should approach your portfolio before we get into building it. All right. So, like I said, a true data portfolio is an ecosystem of a professional proof. All right. You have your resume, you have your website. This is what I'm going to show you how we're going to build today. And then you have your repo, your repository. So be it GitHub, Jupyter, or whatever it is that you use for your data, right? To host your data project. Okay, so what makes a good portfolio is how smoothly these three things connect. All right, your resume, what you have on your resume shouldn't be so far-fetched, or shouldn't be different from what you have on your website, and shouldn't be different from what you have on your GitHub. Okay, so now when I go to your resume and you put in on your resume, you outline some projects or some under your roles and responsibility. So this is not a resume building session. So I'm not going to go deep into what a resume should look like. I'm sure that Esther would have covered that. All right. So, but when you go to your resume and then under your project showcase, that if you do not have enough experience in the data world, under your project showcase, I'm seeing some projects. And then I go to your portfolio website and I cannot find the projects that you have on your resume. There's already a disconnect. Or I go to GitHub and I cannot find the project that you put on your resume on your GitHub, or the project that you put on your portfolio website, I cannot find them on your GitHub, there's already a disconnect. Okay, so your portfolio is not just your website. Your portfolio is an ecosystem of your website, your resume, your GitHub or your Jupyter or wherever it is that you host your project. If you're someone who writes as well, your Medium, your blog, everything comes together to form your portfolio. It is your professional proof. It is what we see visibly, publicly about you. Okay, so these three things, these three major things have to connect. So if we are here and there is a disconnect between your resume, your website, your GitHub, just know that there has to be some sort of synchronization. Your resume has to connect with your website and then has to connect with your GitHub and your Jupyter. All right. So, so what? So what? Again, I am coming here from a business owner's perspective. The reason why you're getting hired as a data person, okay, the reason why, let me start from building your portfolio. The reason why you're building your portfolio is to get hired. So I want us to drum that into our heads, okay? So you're not just building your portfolio because you want to show that I can, clean data, I have these skills. It's not for your peers. You're not building it to show your peers that this is what I have done. It is not some sort of competition with somebody, all right? The reason why you're building a portfolio is to get hired, and that is it. So when you are working on your portfolio, you should think about it from who is going to be looking at it, who is the target audience. Your target audience for this portfolio is whoever is going to hire you. So be the recruiter and the hiring manager. So you should see it from their lens, and that means that your portfolio has to be as clear as possible. All right, there should be no fluff. As a recruiter, I should look at your portfolio and know that, okay, know what it is you're about. What can this person do? Do you understand? All right. So they're hiring you to save money, to make money, or to save time. That is what every business is about. Every business is all about profit making. Okay, if it's not philanthropy, it's all about profit making. All right. So your portfolio must communicate your capacity to impact a business. So if you're saying that you worked on this, right? So the reason I'm emphasizing this is because this should also make you think about the projects that you work on. And these are things that in the last session, they were covered. All right, so I'm just reiterating for those of us who were maybe not in the last session. Okay, these are things that should impact the kind of project that you work on. You're not just working on projects to show that you have the skill. How does the particular project that you work on, how does it impact the business? How does it help the business? Does it save them money? Does it save them time? So if you're saying that maybe you script a particular site and then you clean this data, how does it impact the business? So you should be able to spell it out clearly. I hope I'm communicating. All right. So now there are two layers to your portfolio. All right. Two layers. All right. When you're building your portfolio, think of it in two ways. Why? The reason I'm emphasizing this is because recruitment doesn't start from the technical person most times. Of course, okay, there's a need in the department. We need a data engineer, or we need a data analyst, a data consultant, or what have you. There's a need in the department, and then they communicate this need to the HR, all right, to the human resource team, give out the job description. This is what we need, right? Most of the time, the recruiter is non-technical. Do you understand what I mean? So as a HR person, I do not have an understanding of all the technical jargon that goes on in the data world. But what I'm going to do is that I'm going to compare what I'm seeing with what was given to me. So that means that your portfolio needs to have plain English that a non-technical person can understand. Your portfolio shouldn't be littered with technical jargon. You should have plain English that a non-technical person can understand, pardon me. You should have keywords. And then, like I said before, it should emphasize business impact. Do you understand what I mean? You should emphasize, so that when a recruiter when a recruiter looks at your portfolio, right? So they say, okay, that recruiter is like the doorway to take you to the next person who's going to be the technical person. So that's why I gave like an iceberg in illustration here, right? At the top of the iceberg, the layer 1 should be plain English, keywords, business impact, and the location of this should be on your homepage, right? From the project titles. And bear in mind that a lot of times there are lots of applications, thousands of applications. So you need to make your work stand out. All right. Most times they don't have more than 7 to 10 seconds to skim through. Okay, so your homepage, the very first part of your portfolio has to be straight to the point. Okay, this is my name, this is what I do, these are projects that I've worked on. Clear, very clear. Your dashboard is clear. All right. And then, so once you have that first check, then you can now go to the layer 2. This is now the in-depth part, the deep dive, where you can flex your skills, because the layer 2 is where the hiring manager, the technical hiring manager, is then going to sit. Okay, so clear as well. So the fact that I'm saying deep dive or in-depth doesn't mean that you should put things that are not relevant. All right, so this is where you showcase your skills, talk about the tools that you use, go into talking about the tools, talk about the process, add more pictures, links, your GitHub link. So I'm expecting that we have an understanding of how to use GitHub repositories or whatever repo that you use, be it Bitbucket, whatever repo that you use, right? Use those repositories to showcase your work. Because on your portfolio, all of these things, like I said before, all of these things make up your portfolio. But my focus here today is the website. All right. So it should connect, like I said, it's an ecosystem. It's an ecosystem. All right. So I'm sure that maybe Esther, or if she hasn't, would show you how to publish your projects on GitHub. Okay. So yeah. The next thing is the website blueprints. Okay, so this is the structure of your homepage. All right, this should be the structure of your homepage. So you should see the hero. This is the hero right here. So on the hero page, what you should have is you should have your name, your picture, if you want your picture to be there, your like a one line about what you do. Basically, I am a data engineer that focuses on this, that. One thing I think I should mention is that as beginners, I don't know if everybody here is a beginner, but I assume that everybody here is a beginner. As beginners, let's not fall into the trap of wanting to do everything. Okay, let's not fall into the trap of wanting to do everything. Just, okay, I am an ML machine learning engineer, data engineer. So wanting to pack all of those things into our bio. No, right? Things take time. I believe in being a generalist when it comes to your skills, being diversified when it comes to your skills. But at the same time, I also believe in specialization when you're starting up. Okay, so let's be clear that this is where I am. This is exactly. So your portfolio, let me say this again. Your portfolio is not something that should show your future capabilities. Your portfolio should show where you are right now. Okay, you don't have to lie about your portfolio or lie about your capabilities or your skills. Show where you are right now. It's not a bad thing to be at the level that you are, but then you must communicate it clearly and make sure that you have an understanding of what you are showing, so that when you get called to interview, remember, let it be at the back of your mind. Let it be at the back of your mind that the point of everything you're doing is to get hired. Your portfolio is not for you. Yes, it's for you. You get what I mean? But then you are not the person, you did not build your portfolio so that you can go and be looking at it every day and be like, I really know this work. You're not the one who is going to hire yourself. All right. So it's not for your ego, to boost your ego and be like, I did this, or I finished so and so tutorial. No. The point of your portfolio is to get you hired. So everything has to be clear. All right. So your one-liner should be there. I saw Esther's one-liner and I loved it. I think I saw helping people get into data or something. So when I see that, right, I know that I'm talking about when I joined the call, right? When I see that, I know that this is someone who trains people. As simple as that. Okay. So it could be turning, I'm going to show us very soon, move us to the technical walkthrough. But before we move to the technical walkthrough, I think it's very important that we have like fundamentals, baseline fundamentals. Okay. Then this is the blueprint. We have the hero section at the top that has your name, your one-liner, then probably your skills, maybe, okay, the tools that you're familiar with. And then the middle part has your projects, this part. So just choose 3 major projects. 3 major projects is like industry standard. Of course, if you are applying for a job, if you're saying that you need this job and you know what you're doing, I don't think asking for 3 projects should be too much. Okay. If you have 2, that's fine. All right. But having 3 projects shows that you've done this once, you've done it a second time, you've done it a third time. Okay. They do not have to be, it doesn't mean that you have to have worked somewhere. So maybe if you're building a portfolio, if you have the experience, beautiful. All right. But building experience doesn't only come from having a job, from working a job, right? Building experience can come from you just picking up projects. And then the footer. So the footer is the part that contains your contact details, where they'll contact you, your email, any extra links. So this is what a simple blueprint should look like. Okay. One thing I would want to say is that, just by the way, is that when you're looking for someone who doesn't have experience, right? When you're looking to build your portfolio, so that you're not building in a vacuum or just building at miss, one thing you should do is look at job postings. You have a particular role that you're targeting. Yeah, I assume that you have a particular role that you're targeting. Go look at job postings, maybe on LinkedIn, different job boards. And when you look at all of them, you will see that there are certain things that they require. There would always be things that keep on occurring. You would keep on seeing them over and over and over again. Those things are the things that you should take and work on and make sure that you showcase in your portfolio. I hope that's clear. Those things, so it means that they are like, those are the industry requirements. Okay. So those things are the things that you should make sure that it's glaring on your portfolio. Okay. I wish this was more like because I'm a teacher, I'm an educator, so I get to get live feedback, but it's fine. I wish it was there's a way I could get like live feedback, but please use the comments, drop emojis and whatnot, so that I can know that we are together and we're communicating. All right. Good. Yes. I see somebody said your portfolio must communicate your capacity to impact a business. That is very correct. That is very correct. Yes. So at this point, if you have questions or anything, please just make sure that you drop your questions. I would get to it. All right. Good. Okay. Now it is time for us to create a portfolio. Here it is. Let us cook. All right. Let us create a portfolio. There are different. The reason why I took my time in the last 20 to 25 minutes to explain what exactly a portfolio is, or your mindset what a portfolio is, because the goal of creating a portfolio, you can use any tool, to be honest, right? There are different tools when it comes to creating a portfolio or a web portfolio, a website, different tools. Some are free, some are paid. Okay, so depending on your preference, whatever tool that you want, there's Notion. You can use Notion. If you're comfortable with Notion, you can use Notion. And you do not need this is 2026. You do not need to write code to create a portfolio. Okay, you do not need to know how to code to spin up a portfolio. All right, there are a lot of no-code tools that you can use. I'm going to share some of them with us. But what I'm going to be showing us now is GitHub Pages. I don't know if anybody's familiar with GitHub Pages. I'm going to be showing us how to use GitHub Pages to spin off a portfolio in less than 20 minutes. Assuming you have everything ready. Like Esther said, some of you have saved final. Today, after this session, there is no more, that's your final is going live. All right. So give me a second. I'm going to stop sharing this now and start sharing my browser. But while I do that, if you have any questions, or let me know if you're enjoying this session so far, anything at all, just let me know. And that's good. Precious says he or she has a GitHub, because now I don't know if it's a he or she. Okay, good. 1 second. I'm gonna share again. Good, good, good. Just keep those, okay, Precious says she's a she. Just keep those comments coming in and I'll get to them. All right, I think I'll share a window instead. Okay, good. Okay, can we see my screen? Please let me know if you can see my screen. I'm sharing my screen again. Okay, good. We can see my screen, all right? So this is a simple portfolio that I created in less than 30 minutes for the purpose of this session. All right. Like I said, I'm not a data analyst. Okay. This is a very simple portfolio. Now, remember the blueprints? Remember the blueprints that I mentioned? The header, your project, and the footer. Okay. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be showing us if you have, for those that have their GitHub, if you can drop the link to your GitHub that has projects, so not an empty GitHub, even if it's one project that you have on your GitHub, I'm going to use that to show us how to create a portfolio right now. So fastest finger, anybody that has that, please just drop it in the chat, okay? So remember what I said. I said header, projects, and then footer, okay? Very simple. So the first thing is, as a recruiter, I have 7 seconds. So I come in here and I see data analyst, only metadata into clear insights. Okay, good. And I see projects, I see tools here. So these are placeholders because I want to show us how to work on this together. Okay. So I see project's name, reducing customer churn by 10%. Okay, customer churn. I'm thinking, all right, this person is business minded, reducing customer churn, right? So customer churn is basically the rate at which customers drop off. All right. So if as a data analyst, that is something that you solve for me as a business owner, I'm going to hold you tight because I don't want customers to churn. I don't want to lose customers. Nobody wants to lose customers. Okay. So I see that. Okay. Then I see the problem. One plain English sentence about what you're trying to solve. I see the tools that you use, SQL, Python, Tableau, whatever tools that you use, and then the impact, which is very important. Remember, I said your portfolio must emphasize the impact on a business. Okay, then this is a link. This is a link that will take me to the dashboard because I know that in data, you all use dashboards and all of that. And then this link also will take me to the GitHub repo. And then here, we can now add a screenshot of your project, which is something that we'll do. We're going to create a portfolio right now, but this is what it looks like. I have project 1, project 2, project 3, and then right here, let's connect. Currently open to data analyst roles. Send me an email. So it linked to the email. All right. This is something that you can create in 30 minutes or less, as long as you have your content ready. You have what it is that you want to put here. You can create it in less than 30 minutes. Okay. So let me see. Has anybody dropped anything? Please. I have it, but I got stuck. Please. Is there anybody that has? If you do not have, it's fine. I can still show you the workflow, but it would have been nice to have like an actual data project, regardless of what level it is that you are. Emmanuel, right? Regardless of what level it is that you are, you can also share. If not, it's fine. Okay, I would show. Someone says, Ariba says, looking so nice and clear. Exactly. That is how your portfolio should look. It should look nice. It should look clear. It should be readable. All right. It should be very readable. Okay. Moving on. The first thing I said, I created this using GitHub. You can see, if you can see the URL here, it says Ivy Roman. That is my LinkedIn. Sorry, that is my GitHub username, .github.io. So I'm going to go to GitHub right now. I'm guessing that we can Okay, good. GitHub. So this is my GitHub page. Please let me be sure that we're on the same page. Okay, good. We're on the same page. Okay, good. So someone is saying, I don't have, just trying to learn how to create one. Okay. Is it possible to create and update later? Definitely, it is possible to create and update later. You can always update it. You can always update it. You can create one, it's live, and then you update it. All right. So this is my GitHub homepage. All right. If you do not have access to GitHub, okay, what you just need to do is go to github.com, create a profile. That is very easy. Okay. There's one thing I would want to say. Something that a friend of mine says that I've adopted and I keep saying. When it comes to anything that you're doing, basically anything that you're doing in life, any kind of learning, let your curiosity guide you. All right. We have access to so much information. We have information at our disposal. In fact, in this AI world, there's so many things that you can learn. Okay, right. So I may be giving you the blueprint right now, but it doesn't mean that your learning has to stop here. Okay, you can always take it a step further. And I would really love to see what you guys do at the end of this. All right, after this session, tag me on LinkedIn. Maybe when you post your portfolio, tag me on LinkedIn, or yeah, just send me a message on LinkedIn or send me an email. I really want to see it. All right, so let's proceed. So this is my homepage. The first thing I want to do is that I'll go to new. Very easy, straight to the point. Feel free, please. If I'm moving too fast, feel free to tell me you're moving too fast. Stop. I don't understand. The point of this is for you to understand. Okay. So I have my, let me go back again. github.com. You can see here. So this is my very first page. When I go to github.com, this is my landing page, my home page, right? At this side, it gives me my repositories that I have, okay? And right here on the left, I see new. This is like the only green button. So look for the green button, the first green button, new, okay? So I click on new, and it takes me here to create a repository. In case you're not familiar with GitHub, right? A repository is where you put your projects. So you see those projects that you've worked on, those Tableau projects, those dashboards, whatever data project that you've worked on, you come here and you put it on GitHub. Why? GitHub is beyond a place for showcasing your project. It's also a collaborative tool. So a lot of times when you're working in a team, right? When you're working in a team, what happens is that you collaborate a lot, you work on projects together because they're like large projects. So you can be working on one part of the project and another person is working on another part of the project. So you use GitHub to collaborate. So you push your own, you push your request, I push mine, and we're able to work together. Okay. So having said that, repository name. Now this repository name is very important. It's very important. When you are just creating your projects, you can name your repository anything that you want to name it. But because the purpose of this repo or repository is for your portfolio, we want to host this on the web. So the naming is very important. Okay, the name that you give to it has to be your username. So right here, you can see my username. My username is Ivy Roman, which is basically my username everywhere. So if you want to search for me everywhere, just search Ivy Roman. So I use Ivy Roman dot github.io. You can see it's already suggesting that.
Okay,
Now,
please confirm you can hear me. Hello.
okay, I can hear you, Esther. I can hear you.
Okay, is it possible for you to help us to bolden the screen? Some persons can't see it clearly.
Okay, so I should make it bigger.
Yeah. Or is it, I don't
Is
know
it
if Tolu Lope can confirm that she can see it clearly now, or any other person can confirm that they can see the screen clearly now. And then someone is saying he doesn't have a GitHub account. How do I create one? So I assume that some persons here haven't created a GitHub account yet.
okay? All right.
Uh,
So quickly to create a GitHub account, I think I just mentioned that. All right. Go to github.com. Let me see. Okay, you know what? Let me see if I can open another window quickly and show us how to create a GitHub account. Thank you so much, Esther. So I'm going to stop sharing this window and I want to create another window with another of my accounts because I don't want to sign out of this one. Okay, good. Now I'll share again. Someone is talking about the YouTube quality. Okay, yes, you may want to change your YouTube quality so that it's clearer in case you cannot see very well. Okay. Okay, so I'm sharing again. Please confirm that you can see my screen. I'm sharing again. Okay, good. So this is the homepage, the landing page when you go to github.com if you do not have an account. All right. When you go to github.com and you do not have an account, this is where it takes you to. Just github.com, that is it. All right. Then you go to sign up. This is for the person who doesn't know how to create a GitHub account. Go to sign up. I'm assuming that you have an email address. Okay, so you can continue with Google, or you can go in straight, type in an email, type in a password, type in your username, okay, and then create an account. I don't know if I want to create another account because I already have one. So I don't know if I want to create another one, but this is it. It's a very simple walkthrough, all right? When you log in or when you go to sign up, you can either continue with Google, continue, or you write in your email, put in your password, put in a username. You have to choose a username, whatever username that it is that you want, okay? And then create your account. After creating your account, it then takes you to a home page, which is what I showed earlier. All right, so I'm going to go back there now. All right, so it takes you to that home page, and then you can now create a repository. Okay, so I think that what I'm going to do is that I'm going to assume that we do not have any knowledge of GitHub at all. I think that's better because I came here with the assumption that we already have some projects on GitHub. So I'm going to assume that there is no knowledge at all of GitHub and try to break it down to the barest minimum. Okay, so yes, I'm going to stop sharing this again and go back to the previous slide where I was. Again, if you have any questions, let me know, or if I'm not seeing, because when I'm sharing my screen, I do not really see what's going on right here. So Esther, please, if there's anything, if you need to draw my attention to anything, kindly let me know. Thank you. So I'm back here. I'm hoping that you can see my screen. Can you see my screen? Okay, good. I see that you can see my screen. Okay. Taking it back to the very beginning, all right? To the very beginning. So after I've created my account, let me come back here and take it back. Just github.com. After I've created my account, it brings you again to the home page. So you can add the settings, whatever settings you want. So your name, your profile, update your profile. All right. That is not the focus of this class. I mean, we use apps every day. We get to use apps every day, download apps. Nobody taught us how to use Instagram. All right. So this is something that we can figure out, how to use GitHub. Okay. How to create an account on GitHub. All right. So yes, let me now move on. So again, I mentioned what a repository is. So a repository is basically your project. So for every project that you create, you have to create a repository. So you go to new. So when you just create your accounts, I'm expecting that this place is going to be empty. All right, very empty. There's nothing there. You won't see anything here. So you go to new, okay? And then it will show you the name here, owner, which is going to be your username, and then the repository name. So for example, you just created a project. Can somebody give me an example or a name of a project? Okay, let me say data scraping 101. Let me just use that, okay, for want of a better name. Data scraping 101, that's the name of the project. So your repository name can just be like a short name, data scraping 101, something like that, okay? And then after you create the repository, after you write the name, let me just write that. Repository, data scraping, scraping. Let me just leave it at data scraping. And then a brief description. In this project, I illustrate how to scrape data on the web using Python. Okay, and then choose visibility, of course, public. Everything we're doing is to be in the public eye because we want to be hired. Okay, then you add a README. So this README, it says here that READMEs can be used as a longer description. So this README is what contains more description of what your project is about, the tools that you use, the workflow, what you would want every other person to know. Okay, so after you've created this, after you've created the repository, so I'm just going to create this. This is not this is not the web portfolio, or let me just emphasize, I'm trying to show you how you put your projects first of all on GitHub. This is not the web portfolio, the main web portfolio. Hope I'm clear. All right, so I create this repository. So I've created it now. It has my README. In this project, I illustrate how to scrape data on the web using. So the next thing I'd want to do is maybe add code, right? I can either upload an already existing file, all right? Maybe my something.py, data.py, .py, code.py. I can either upload that or I can create a new file. Okay, so what I'm going to do so that I'm not using a lot of abstracts. All right, let me go to something that I already have on my GitHub so that it's clearer. Again, this is just background work. We've not even gotten to the part of posting on GitHub on the web. All right, but whatever it is that we understand from here is what we're going to translate to the other part. So if you have any questions, kindly drop them in the chat or in the comments. Okay, so this is my profile page on GitHub. So now on this profile page, this is not even updated because I think I put this like maybe some years ago. I haven't updated it, right? So on this profile page, it shows about me. And this is very important. Remember I said your portfolio is an ecosystem. This is not the web portfolio. This is not your website. But then on GitHub as well, it's important that I also put in case anybody wants to go to my homepage on GitHub and wants to see something about me, put in my about me. After my about me, I put in some skills. All right. Put in core competencies, basically. No, these are not skills, these are competencies: technical support, API debugging, cloud deployment, put in all of these things. And then under my skills and technologies, I grouped them, put in some projects. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show us, a project. This is a repository now, cybersecurity nexus assessment. Okay, so now under the cybersecurity nexus assessment, because this is a cybersecurity project, and in cybersecurity, we do not write code like that, depending on the field. But as a SOC analyst, we do not write code. Please, I not to get us confused. All right, I'm just trying to show us how GitHub looks. Okay. I hope we're together. I hope everybody's together. Good. So the README, like I said, the README shows more description on what your project is. Tools used. These are the tools. Okay. This can be edited right here. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to copy what I have here. and take it to that new repo that I created, the data scraping repo. So I'm going to my repositories. Once I clicked on my picture here, it brought repositories. This is the new data scraping so that I can show us in real time how to add to your README. Okay, so this is what I have here, right? README, edit it, and at the bottom, I'm just going to paste it here. So you can see that you can add whatever it is that you want to add, all right? Details about your project. Now, like I said, a portfolio is not limited to you being a data scientist. Regardless of the field that you have, a portfolio works. And GitHub is not just for data analysts. GitHub is for basically if you work in tech, regardless of your field, we use GitHub. All right, good. So this is industry standard. I'm giving us industry standard here. So right here, I have details about my project. Again, please, I'm trying to make this differentiation. Even though it's a differentiation, it's still similar so that we understand what it is to make your project visible. Okay, so now this assessment, I wish I had, that's why I was asking for a data portfolio. If someone has like something you can share with me, a data project that you've worked on. If you have a data project that you worked on, even if it's on a Google file or a Google document, just share it with me and I will use that so that I can bring it home to us. Okay, so let me see, is there anybody like that has anybody? Sales performance project. Okay, good. So if you have this, Emmanuel, if you have this sales performance project that you have done and you can share with me, I'm going to use that right now so that it's clearer to us. Or if you have any project that you've done, just drop the link to the document and then I'll use that. If not, we'll just have to make do with what we have. Okay, so right here, I have my overview, what this project is about, the key focus areas of the project. Now, this is about the project itself. Okay, the project, the one project. Remember I said we should have at least 3 projects that we've done. Okay, so one of the projects now is here, the key focus areas. These are the things that I did. So for you now, your focus areas, you can tell us why you did what you did. So if you did web scraping, because I'm giving an example of data scraping, if you did web scraping, okay, you talk about the web scraping, why, the tools, what you hope to achieve. Remember I spoke about business, how it impacts the business. Okay, so you write that under your key focus areas, the tools you used, then your methodology, because I expect that you also have methods, right? How you came up, how you were able to do it, the process. So methodology is basically the process. Okay, now at this point in this README, you're not adding your code here. This is just a more detailed description. All right, so once you've done that, you have all the description of what you did, you just commit. Commit basically means to save your changes. So you commit it, commit your changes, it saves. All right, I have that here. So the next thing I would want to do after I have this is to go back to the data scraping, and I can either upload, like I said, upload a file which has my code, my .py file, or even if it's a CSV file, maybe you use Excel, upload it here, it's uploaded, all right, and then it shows, because think about it, if you've done a data project, how do I see that you've actually done a project, that you worked on it? How do I go through your code? It's right here on GitHub. So GitHub is called, I just remembered something like, it's called a version control system. Okay, so the good thing about it is that you can always update. Someone asks about updating. You can always update. So if you make any change to your code, you can make the change, commit again. At this point, I feel like I should ask questions. So somebody's asking what's methodology again. Methodology simply shows the process. Okay, the process. Just the process of how you did it, the method. How did you do it? Okay, that's methodology. All right, is there any question before I move on? I feel like I should take a break here, a pause here. We've hit the 1 hour mark. So if you have any question, if there's anything that is confusing, please let me know. Anything confusing, let me know. I'm waiting. If I do not get any questions, I'm just going to assume that I can move on. No, I didn't say virtual update system, version control. Version, VER. I think I should be able to join the chat, yes? Okay, it says I should connect my YouTube account to join the chat. Version control, VERSION. Version control. Do we have any other question? Yes. Okay, Esther has typed it in the comment. Okay. All right. So I'm assuming that I can move on. Am I free to move on? Am I free to move on? Okay, good. Okay, I'm just going to move on. Okay, so this, first of all, is the project. Okay, this is where we add the project. Now, let me go back to how you can now showcase it on the web, showcase your portfolio. Your portfolio, the good thing about GitHub, and GitHub came and made things easier because you have your projects here, and then you can now have a bigger portfolio that houses your projects. Okay, which is what I want to show us now. So going back here, I'm going back to my home page. Okay, so I can come here, go to repositories, and create a new repository. So I want to create a new repository. New repository. Good. Now, if you are using, I'm assuming that we are taking notes, right? And this is being live streamed, so we can always come back to watch this. Thank you so much, Esther. So when you want to create your portfolio that is going to be on the web using GitHub, let me come back to this tab here. Right here, you have this. Anybody, if I drop this link in the chat, anybody can have access to this right now. Anybody can go to that link. For some reason, it's saying that my comments cannot be posted. Esther, I don't know why. It says I cannot post. So, but I wanted to drop that link. So if you can just go to ivy-roman.github.io.
Okay.
So if you can go to ivy-roman.github, you see that it's available to all. Okay, good. So if you want your portfolio creating through GitHub pages, if you want it to be available to all, you need to use your username first. Okay, because this is like the URL. Your username, whatever username that you choose, .github.io. This is the link. Now it's telling me that it already exists, of course, because I already have it. But I'm just showing us. So for example, Precious is here, right? So let's assume that this is Precious's account. So what Precious would do, I don't know what her username is. So maybe it's Precious, let me say something like in data. Maybe that's her name. Precious in data. Okay, .github.io. Maybe that's her username. So her username, Precious in data.github.io. That is what you're going to use to create your portfolio that can be accessible on the web. So after you've created that, simple, after you've written the name here, the repository name, the next thing you want to do is add README. This is very important because whatever it is that you put on this README, is what is going to be visible on the web. All right. So because I already have a page, I already have a my own home page. What I'm going to do is just going to use another name. So let me say home page, another home page, because I'm trying to create another home page so that we can see, right? So slash home page. So add readme, right? And then I will create repository. Okay. So I've created it now. It just says home page. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to edit this readme. I have a template that I kept somewhere. I'm just going to copy that template and put it here, and I can also share that with you guys. 1 second. Okay, good. So I'll copy that template. Yeah, okay. So I copied it and I've pasted it. All right. Now write my name. Hi, my name is Ibi, also a data analyst. This your one line, okay? I can share this template with us, just this file, so that when you're creating yours, you just paste it and edit it. Link to my LinkedIn. Remember, it's an ecosystem, so it has to be linked. There has to be a link, all right? And your resume as well should have a link to your portfolio, okay? So my LinkedIn is the Roman IV. This is the link. My resume, let me find a link to my resume quickly. So if you're adding it to your resume, it means that your resume has to be somewhere. We can just use Google Drive. Google Drive is a good enough place to just keep your resume. Let me see. Let me see if I can find a link to my resume quickly. I have so many tabs open, I'm not sure. Okay, I don't think I'll be able to find a link to my resume at this point, but so if you have a link to your resume, save it on Google Drive. Google Drive is easy, it's free. Please just do that. All right, so I'm just going to put resume.pdf. All right, or you could also put your resume here. All right, so I think I would do that. Let me commit this first, and then I'll come back to it. So commit changes. For everything that you're doing, make sure you save, okay? So I'm back here. I would come back to it. You can always edit. So instead of having to look for somewhere else to put my resume, right? I'm thinking, can I put it here? Can I put it here? Okay, no, I don't want to put it here. Because to access this, I may need to sign up. And one thing you don't want to do is to give whoever is looking at your portfolio extra work. So imagine you go on your portfolio and then you put a link to your resume. And then to access your resume, they say sign in first or sign up first. The recruiter is just going to be, this person is not serious. Please let me move on. Do you understand? So you want to make sure that you reduce the number of clicks when you are creating your portfolio. Make everything quick to access. Reduce the number of clicks. So that's why I said Google Drive. Okay, you know what? For the purpose of this class, I think we have some time, right? Because we want to learn. So let me take my time to get a link to my resume from Google Drive. Please give me a second. I thought I had that open. Okay. Okay, good. So imagine. Okay, good. So I'm back here. I'm back to my README again. Edit. All right. So I'm putting the link to my resume now. That didn't even take time. Okay, and then my email address. Put in my email. Okay, so featured projects. So these are some featured projects. You put in the name of your project, the problem, what is it that you solved. So let's walk through this together. So quickly,
Hi, Evie.
yes,
Please
hello,
confirm you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Yes, so we got a comment, I think
Mhm.
from Fabian that you should share the template with us. Is there a
Of
way you
course,
can
I
share the template?
yes,
So
there's a
is
way.
it
So
in
I
a
would
Word document? Because
no,
I
it's
feel
I'll
that
just
people want to, okay, it's not, you don't have it right now, right? It's not something that you can share in the chat, that you can copy.
it's not something I can share in the chat, but I can quickly do that. I can upload it to my drive and just post the link here.
Oh, okay. If that
Yeah.
will take time, then there is no need. Probably after this session, we'll just share everything with them.
Okay, fine. After the session, I can share everything. All right.
Okay. Thank
So
you.
yeah. I was going to say something. There's one person that mentioned someone mentioned a comment. Yes, Emmanuel. Emmanuel said sales performance project. Okay. So sales performance project. If Emmanuel has okay, let me use that sales performance project. I wish there was a way that I could hear your voices, honestly, but it's fine. Would manage with only my voice. Okay, so you did a sales performance project, but sales performance projects, what was the performance or what was the problem? All right. So, for example, you can say the problem was that sales, there was, 1 second, so that it's clearer. 1 second, so that one plain English sentence about about what you were trying to solve. Okay, improve sales by 15%. Okay, something as simple as that. Then the tools that you used, SQL, Python, Tableau, whatever tools it is. Then the impact. Remember, it has to be a punchy impact, something that when the recruiter sees, they know that this person knows what they are talking about. All right. The impact can be that reduced customer churn by 10%, resulting in a 25% increase in turnover. Okay, then a link to a live dashboard. So if you have your Tableau dashboard, this is where you put the link. You put the link here. Then the code to your repo. Remember that repository that we created? Let me now go here to a new tab so that we can quickly get that. github.com. So I want to show more. Yes, this data scraping repository that you just created that has your data projects, right? So simply click on it. Just going to come here and copy the link. All right, copy the link from the search bar and go back to this page. So this place has a link to the repository. So they can see more details about the project. Okay, so here it says view the code. So on this repository, they'll see the README that has more details. They will see the code. Remember the iceberg approach. That's the two-layer approach. All right. So for the technical recruiter, the non-technical recruiter may not come here to view the code. But of course, the technical recruiter would want to see the code because they want to see your logic. They want to understand if you truly understand what you're doing. All right. So that's why it's important to have this link to this code here, the link to your live dashboard. Okay. And then you can add a picture, a screenshot of your project here. So I'm going to show us how to do that in 1 second. But before I do that, I want to just commit this and show us how to make it show on our page. So commit changes, commit. All right. So after committing, the next thing I'll do is that I will go to settings. Please follow me. If you're taking notes, that's beautiful. I would go to settings. On this same page, right? Settings here. Okay. Just at the top, you would see settings. And then I would go to pages. This is where we transform this into a page. Okay. I would go to pages. GitHub Actions. All right. There's no need for you to bother about all of this. It's asking for custom domain. So if you have like a personal domain, maybe you have you've bought a domain name for, again, let me use precious.com, preciousindata.com. You can use that to save your page. All right. But for here, I don't need a custom domain. I can just use ivoryroman.github.com, and let me see. Use a suggestion. No, I don't. Let me see. Sorry, 1 second. No, this is taking me to, it's not supposed to take me here. It's bringing me to another place that it's not supposed to bring me. 1 second. Okay, I'm supposed to see your project is live here. Okay, I know why this is happening. This is happening because, 1 second, sometimes in tech we run into issues. So this is happening because I am using a different, I'm not using my username. So I think what I would do to make this clearer, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to quickly delete the one that I had earlier so that I can publish that again. This one, okay? I'm going to quickly delete this one so that I can just use that quickly, because this is the main thing that you all are supposed to do anyway. But before I delete it, let me copy my README. Okay. Okay. So settings. Okay. So delete this repository. Just going to quickly do that. Yes. No, this is not the one I'm deleting. Sorry. This is not the one I'm deleting. This is the one I'm deleting. Okay. I hope somebody is not saying, can I really do this? Yes, you can. Please. Yes, you can. All right. Okay. All right, good. So now I've deleted the ivyroman.github.io because I was trying to create it another way, but it did not work. So let me just stick to the initial method. Remember, if anybody remembers what I said, the first thing you want to do is put in your username.github.io. All right. Add README. You can add a README, create repository. I've run through this before, so I don't want to take too much time. Okay. Edit this file, edit the README. Okay. And I'm going to add this that I copied from here. This is the template that I said I'm going to share with us. So we're all going to see it. Okay. So now I have it here. I have this template here. And then I would commit changes, commit. After committing, I would go to settings. When I go to settings, I'm coming down here to pages. Okay, coming down here to pages. Now, I do not need a custom domain again. All right, all I have to do is to deploy from branch, my main branch. Why is it not showing me the place to save it? There's just one folder here. Sorry, guys, please a second. I created this just this morning and it's showing me something else. Okay, good. GitHub Actions. Yes, go to GitHub Actions. And here it says your site is live. So you can see I didn't have to do any other thing. It's already live. So what I did was from the source, I clicked on GitHub Actions. All right. And then your site is already live and visit site. This is it right here. Somebody may be saying, but it doesn't look like what you showed us earlier. Hold on first. All right. It doesn't look like it. I'm going to show us how to edit the look, but this is what it, excuse me, this is what it looks like first of all. Excuse me. So it has my name, my portfolio. This is the hero linked to my LinkedIn. So if I click on this, it takes me straight to LinkedIn, to my LinkedIn page. All right. Let me go back. If I click on view my resume, it takes me straight to, okay, so this is something that we want to check to be sure that it's correct. So something is happening. It is not showing the link to my resume. So let me go back and check. Why is it not showing the link to my resume? So I would want to go back here, go back to my README. So if it's not showing the link to my resume, it means that I made a mistake. Okay, so see the mistake here. I did not remove this. So that's why. All right, commit changes. When you commit, especially when your site is already live, some changes may not, you have to wait for like 30 seconds before the changes reflect, okay? So, and you have to wait, keep on waiting, maybe refresh. Let me see if it's going to show now. It's still not showing. So keep on waiting. It will eventually show. Okay, so I will check it again. And you can see this is clear. So if you want, you can stop here, right? If you want, you can decide that, okay, I don't want to do anything too serious. This is just a straight to the point portfolio, straight to the point. However, if you want to add a bit of style, okay, just adding a bit of style, this is what you can do. GitHub Pages has an inbuilt theme or website theme maker. It's called Jekyll. So what you do is you simply create a new file. Sorry, that is not where I wanted to go to. Come back here to the main page, create a new file. I would call it _ config.yml. All right. And then this is something I'm going to add to the template anyway. So I'm going to add just one line of code. 1 second, please. Let me find it. Okay, so it says here, navigate to _config.yml so that you will not think that it's something that I just got from my head. Everything is on the internet, okay? You get it, navigate it, and then add this. There are different themes that you can add, okay? Add this. The one that I used before, I would show us the one that I used before. So just add this here, okay? The one I used before is not minimal. Let me go back here. This is what my portfolio looked like before, by the way. So the one that I used before is, where is it? They have a list. I think is Dinky. I think this is the one that I used before, Dinky. So go back. I hope I've not lost anybody, please. I hope we're still together. Dinky, and then commit. Again, remember I said the changes take time to reflect. Commit, and then I go back to my portfolio here and I try to refresh. No change, but let me check if my resume is open now. Something is wrong with that resume link. It's supposed to be opening. I'll check the link again to be sure. Keep on refreshing. Okay, let me check the link again to be sure that everything is okay. Edit again. Yes, the link is okay. So I guess I have to wait for it to update. Come back here, refresh again. So it may take some time for it to work, but it eventually will. So you just have to be patient. Okay, we just have to be patient. But while it's loading, do we have any questions? Let me come back to the class. Let me see. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? If you have questions, please, if one specializes on 2 skills or more skills, does she need to create a different website with a different GitHub? Please clarify. Okay, good. This is a good question. This is a good question. All right. Okay, I think Esther answered the question, but let me just touch on it. All right. So when you say specialize on 2 skills or 2 or more skills, What do you mean by 2 or more skills? Are you talking about within so for example, you are a data analyst, and there's something that Blessing mentioned in the last session. She said there's nothing like aspiring. You are either a data analyst or you are not. Okay. So if you say 2 skills, do you mean that as a data analyst? I would really like for you to clarify. So, but let me assume that what you mean is that maybe you are a machine learning engineer. You're a machine learning engineer, and at the same time, you are a data analyst. Is that what you mean? If that's what you mean, because all of them, both fields or both skills, fall under the same umbrella, you don't need to create a different website for the different fields. No, with a different GitHub. No, you don't need to do that. All you have to do is to put it there, okay, in your bio, in your portfolio. Okay, let me come back here. Let me come back to, so here. So maybe instead of having data analyst, you can add ML engineer and data analyst. And then you add your one-liner. Okay, you don't have to create separate ones. And then under your projects, you can have it under your projects. So depending on what you want to showcase at this time, please, by all means, you can have more than 3 projects. I just said 3 because I assume that, okay, right here we are beginners. You can have more than 3 projects. All the projects do not have to be on this homepage. Okay, all the projects do not have to be on this homepage here. You can have a place that says maybe click here to view more of my to view more, right? But you can have more projects because it's your portfolio. So when you are building your portfolio, because I said 3 does not mean that you have to limit it to 3 or you have to remove some things. It's your portfolio. Your portfolio is your professional. You're showing your working. You're showing your work, what you've done, everything that you've done. So for example, let's assume that you've been in the industry for 10 years. So does that mean that on your portfolio, you will not have just 3 projects? No, your 10 years experience has to be visible on your portfolio. I hope I'm answering that question. So you don't need to have different websites for one person. It's your portfolio. Even if there are different skills, different fields, it's still you. You are the one who is doing it. Okay, so I hope that answers that question. Let me refresh this, and please, you should have updated by now. If not, there's something wrong with what I have done here, because it shouldn't take this much time. Let me go back and see. Underscore config.yml. This is correct. This is the theme according to what we have here. Let me go to my README. In my README here, checking my code. This is correct. So why is it not loading? everyone.github.io. Let me check this. Do I need to clear my cache or something? Because this thing is performing wonders for me. Let me come here. Because this is the one I had before. Okay. It's still not working. Then if it's not working, there's an issue. I'm sorry, guys. Sometimes things misbehave. And this is the reality of things. All right. Things misbehave. Let me come back to, this is what it looks like. I'm sure that everything is okay. It is showing. So why are my changes not changing? Config.y, this is it. It says here, underscore config.yml, minimal Jenkins. And it's on the main branch. Everything is on the main branch. Again, let me try again to refresh. Honestly, I cannot right now tell why this is not working, because it worked before. Sometimes it happens. This is not to say that GitHub Pages is not this is not to say that GitHub Pages is not reliable, though it is. It's just that I'm sorry, guys. Please give me just 1 second. Just 1 second, please. I'm so sorry about that, guys. I had to get the door. Okay, so I'm back to my, let me go back to my GitHub. Let me refresh this. Okay, I have refreshed this. Go back here. Let me change the theme. Maybe there is a difference. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. Okay, so I'm coming back here to my config.yml. I want to change it to another theme. Maybe there is, okay, sorry, edit. Minimal, because I know that this is another thing. So commit changes. I've committed. I know it takes some time for it to reload, but while it's reloading, I want to go back and make some change on my README. Okay, so the change I want to make is here. This is the code to add my picture. All right. So for your portfolio, you can decide to add your picture or not. But personally, I think that adding a picture shows consistency because your picture is going to be on your LinkedIn and it adds a personal touch. Okay, so I have my picture here, the link to my picture. So what I would want to do is just add it to my GitHub. I just wanted to quickly show you that. So back here, I would add the plus sign, upload file, and 1 second, I will drag the file. Okay, yes. Can I drag this from here? Yes, I can drag it. Okay, I've dragged it. It has uploaded and save, commit. Okay, good. So I've added my file here. So going back to my README, I don't have to do any other thing because you see the picture is showing here because it's added. All right. So if you add the picture, you can add the picture without putting any of this code in case you're not familiar with HTML and CSS. All right. So, but this, again, I will share this in the templates. This is because I wanted to make it smaller. All right. Make it smaller. That's why I added all of these plenty things to it. All right. So now that that is done, let me check if this is going to load. This is still not loading. I fear that I may have to clear my cache. I'm so sorry, guys. 1 second. I don't know why it is not showing my changes. I'm going back to my settings to be sure that everything is okay. Going back to my pages. There's nothing to do here. So it is still not showing my changes. This is incredible.
Oh, okay. Please
Okay.
confirm you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you, Esther.
Okay, so Benjamin just said that he followed your steps and the theme is showing at
Yes.
his end.
Okay, it's showing at its
So it
end.
means it
So
works for him. So I
it
don't know.
works. I don't know if it's the network
Yeah,
because I had it before and
yeah.
sometimes
So I think the issue is not from your end. I would only encourage the other people to please try as well, follow the steps that she took so that we would
okay,
yeah, exactly. So I don't think you need to really bother about it. So far they
okay,
were able to get it. Right.
okay,
Just like Benjamin
okay,
said, he said he followed the same
yeah,
step and the same is showing at his own end. So there might be some
okay,
issues here, you
okay.
understand? But I
All
don't
right then.
think your steps were, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Benjamin, because that is like a validation right now because
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
what's happening.
It
Thank you,
happens
Benjamin,
actually.
again.
It
Yes,
happens. It happens.
yeah.
Sometimes it
Thank you
might
for
be
sharing that.
network. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so Susan, please, I'm seeing your question now. You said you're as an experienced professional, a virtual assistant, and you're entering a new field as a data analyst. Okay. Now, this portfolio that I'm showing us how to create is more like a tech portfolio. Okay, a tech portfolio. So this is not going to work for virtual assistants and data analysts. So this portfolio is you're applying for a job on your resume. So if you're applying for a data analyst role, I'm not sure you want to tell them that you're a virtual assistant. That has nothing to do with being a data analyst has nothing to do with your virtual assistant. Do you understand? So if you're applying for a data analyst role, what you're doing is that you're showing them. By the way, sorry, Benjamin, please can you drop the link to your GitHub, to your page that you just created so that I can share it? I can show us what it looks like. Thank you. So back to you, Susie, right? This is for your tech, this is your tech portfolio, your data analyst portfolio. If you want to have a different website now that shows everything that you do, maybe that even has your hobby, you can have that is not a professional website, professional, using that loosely, that has everything about your hobby, it has your Instagram, has everything else. That is different. Okay. But for a tech portfolio, a data portfolio, it's better that you stick to what it is for. If you are a software engineer and maybe a data analyst, that can be managed, right? But virtual assistants and data analysts, they're very far from each other. I hope that's clear. Benjamin, I would really like to see the link so that I can just display it on my end. Any other questions, please? If you have any other questions, I would want to hear from us. If there's anything that isn't clear in the process, I would want to see that. so that I can go over if there's anything that isn't clear, please. At this point, I think I am done. Just to go over again, right? I would come back, my pages, everything that you want to show is going to be on your README. Okay, so this is your README. Put in the project, put in the dashboard summary. I showed us how to create a repository before. So put in that repository that has the code and we are good. If you have any questions, further questions, please, by all means. Okay, so Tolulope says, at some point she was lost. She didn't get the website. I wish you told us the point exactly that you were lost. Okay, I wish you told us the point exactly. I am going to show us do a quick rundown again. All right, for the sake of Tolulope, so that we can be out of here before 1. For the sake of Tolulope, I'm going to give us a quick rundown. The first thing, like I said before, the first thing you want to do is to go to github.com. Okay, Tolulope, I hope you're here. The first thing, you go to github.com, you go to new. That's new. That's the only green button there. Think green button. Go to repository name. Remember, I said your repository has to be your username. Okay, your username. My username is Ivy Roman. So for Tolulope, let's assume that your username is Tolulope. Tolulope at tolulope.github.io. All right. So that is what is going to be your repository name. Then you scroll down, go to add a README, and then you create the repository. Once you've done that, of course, I'm not going to go forward with this because I already have that. Once I've done that, right, I can then go to, it will take me straight to where the repository is. Okay, once you've created it, take me straight to where the repository is. I'll come back here and edit my README. So when you edit your README, you can add, starting from the header. Remember I spoke about the header. So this part is my header. It has my portfolio, my picture, the links to my LinkedIn, my resume, and my email. Okay, so after that, I then add a project. Now, remember, before I came to this point, I already showed us how to add our project to, which is the same way, by the way. It's the same thing with what we have here. So on your README, you add the project that you have worked on, the methodology, the tools that you used, everything that you used, okay? And then you add a link to your dashboard. I truly wish that someone here had a project or something that they could share with me. I would have shown you how to do it, bring it home to you using a live data project. But nobody shared a data project with me. Okay, then the same thing for project 2, the same thing for project 3, and then the footer that simply has your email address. Okay, Tolulope, I hope we're together. Once you have done adding that, you commit. There's nothing to commit here because I did not make a change. You commit. All right. After committing, you go again. If you want to, Okay, after committing, if you want to display it like that without adding a theme, you can do that. Go to settings, go to pages, because what we're using is GitHub pages, okay? So for the source, you select GitHub actions. There are other options. The other options is deploy from branch, but what we're using is GitHub actions, okay? GitHub actions, once you click GitHub actions, it publishes your site. Okay, and then you can click on the link, it takes you straight there, and you can visit your site. But for you to do this, you need to have a GitHub account, start from the process of creating the GitHub account, and then you come here. All right. Has Benjamin dropped the link? Benjamin did not drop the link for us. Okay, that is fine. At this point, I've published my site. Just, you can also do that. Maybe at some point you feel like this thing doesn't serve me anymore. I don't want it anymore. You can decide that you want to unpublish it, and then it's not going to be there anymore. Okay, so at this point, if we do not have any more questions, I think that we are done. Esther?
Okay, thank you so much, Ivy. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Please, if you have any other questions, please let us know in the comments. We are yet to see any questions yet. I encourage every one of you to please go back, because that's what we help with. So having to do this live session you may not really get everything right in the first place, but when you go back to it, redo everything that she did, make those mistakes, repeat them again, you are going to get them correctly. Thank you so much, Ivie. Once again, we are going to be wrapping up now, because I promised earlier that we're going to spend 1 hour 30 minutes, but because it's a practical session and it is normal for it to go beyond that, so it is very clear. So thank you so much, Ivie, once again, because that was very practical and clear. And one
Thank
thing
you.
I'm personally taking home from today is that she said, don't stress your recruiters. Many of them will have a lot of portfolios to look at. So if your portfolio is confusing to them, then they may not be able to read it. They will just leave it and go to a better one. Do you get? When they have to spend more time to really understand what you are showing them, then they will go over to a different person's zone. So please ensure that you make it simple. From what she said, ensure that it is clean, ensure that it is also easy to navigate, so that if someone lands on your portfolio, they just figure it out immediately. They don't really need to be lost, right? Because clarity will always beat complexity. I know she said earlier that you can have more than 3, but there was one part that she said that really captured my heart, was that you can have more than 3, but have a place where you can say, view my other portfolios here. When you are adding your portfolios, ensure that you can defend them. Don't just add portfolios because you want to add them. Add portfolios because you are proud of those portfolios, projects now, not portfolio. Add those projects that you can be proud of. Add those projects that when they wake you up from sleep and ask you questions on those projects, you'd be able to answer questions. And another important thing that she mentioned, like I said, is that portfolio part. I've talked about it already. You can have more than 3, but don't allow your portfolio to be too jam-packed. You can have more than 3 projects now, but don't let your portfolio to be too jam-packed with a lot of projects. If you have 3, ensure that you have check my other projects here, and that will be fine. And then you are allowed to grow. You're allowed to grow. You can check check different things, check different examples, watch this YouTube again, keep your homepage clean. That's one thing I would like to tell you, and add something simple, right? And don't allow your your recruiters to get overwhelmed. Allow them to be guided easily. right? Because you are guiding them. Have a good structure just from the last session that we had. Ensure that it has a very good structure. Ensure that it is simple. Ensure that you are intentional about the design. And that is what will make you to stand out from any other person, right? So my assignment to you right now is that don't just watch this session. Don't just come for this session. Ensure that you implement it. Ensure that you go back, refine your portfolio, simplify the templates, add navigations, let it be easy for them to navigate, and then remember to publish it, right? So thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Thank you, Evie, for joining. I knew why I decided to choose you for this session. It was very simple and it was very clear. I understand that we had some things, but then thank God for Benjamin that had to now tell us that he was able to follow through and he got the theme correctly. So everyone, thank you once again for joining us from different countries today. Please, I encourage you once again, go back now and build something that you are proud to share. So see you in the next video. Another thing I encourage you is that please tell people about it. Don't just have this come for this session and then you are not implementing. Write about it on LinkedIn. Go back to your LinkedIn page. Build one and then post about it. Let people know. And when they see it, tag me, tag Evie. We are going to repost it. We are going to comment on it, and we are going to also retag it. We're going to repost it, and many more connections will also see it. And you never can tell. A recruiter can see what you've done, and they would be very, and you might get recruited. And
Esther? Okay, is it just me? Seems like we lost Esther. Um, maybe it's her network.
yeah, thank you.
Okay, I
Yeah,
think
I'm
she's
back
trying.
now. Yes, I'm
Okay.
back now. So thank you everyone for joining. Please ensure that you go back to it, post about it, tag us, and we are going to um, repost it and comment on it. Thank you so much. Some persons sent their website link to me. I'm also going to review their portfolio and make some comments on it. If you are yet to send your portfolios yet, please try and do that. I might not have responded to you, but definitely I'm going to respond to you. Please work on it. Ensure that you're not just joining all these sessions and you're not doing anything about them. Then those that did not even join at all are better than you that joined and did not implement anything. So I encourage you to implement every single thing you've done. If you have any questions, ask them. I'm going to respond to you either in the chat or you send an email to me. Some persons have my email. If you don't have my email, you can check my my LinkedIn profile. My email is there. And okay, I'm going to be sharing my emails with you now so that you can easily reach out. When you have built your portfolio successfully, you can send me the link. I would also check it out. I'll comment on it. One thing I would like to tell you is that your portfolio doesn't have to be perfect. No, don't say because I have just two projects, I will not push it out or I will not talk about it or I won't post it on LinkedIn. No, it doesn't really have to be perfect. Just show us what you have. Let people know you are learning. And that's even why they will be more interested. So I wish every one of you all the very best. Like I said, post about this on LinkedIn and tag us and we're going to comment on it. Please enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye.